There it is. Hey, folks, welcome to another episode of the Mañana morning check-in. Today is August 24th, 2021, and I got to tell you, beautiful, beautiful day. It's Tuesday morning here in Southern California. It was nice and cool this morning, not hot. In fact, I was able to keep the work center door open for a while and just let that fresh air come in. Just really enjoy some of the moments this morning, right? Really good cup of coffee. Now, of course, I'm back on water and hydrating. After the mountain bike ride yesterday, I was a few pounds light. And so I thought, well, that's a definite sign of hydration because I'm still a big fella and I didn't lose weight on that motorcycle ride. I lost water, right? So making sure that I hydrate. As I do that, and I look at the focus this week and keying on the keywords here. As I look at the focus for this week, it's interesting what we spend our time and our energies on. So a couple of things. Yesterday, I made an inference, or there were a couple of occasions where I said it out loud, like I am purposefully unplugging from certain distractions. Just has to happen. You can't be everything to everybody or everywhere all the time. So I am purposefully unplugging from certain distractions. I don't need to know everything about everything, and that's just a ridiculous burden to put on yourself in the first place. So that said, I started saying, okay, so where is the focus kind of thing going to be? So just yesterday, for example, I've recognized that there's a decent amount of traffic coming through my TikTok account. Bear with me. I'm 54 years old. I'm not doing TikTok dances and stuff like that, but there's a fair amount of traffic coming through this TikTok that I'm not really optimizing or not really using well. I put a lot of food pictures up and stuff from smoking meat and stuff in the backyard. But if I were to change that messaging and say, okay, well, what if I want to do some Mañana nomás stuff through TikTok? Well, I started looking at that, and there's tools in the browser. So everyone's used to TikTok on the phone, right? But there's tools in the browser to upload videos and do things of that nature. And it was so much easier to put stuff up in the browser. And I was like, so I put up a couple of my, bumper video pieces that go with some of my other contents, and people like it. I'm getting good content. I'm getting good interaction. And I'm like, okay, and then I'm doing stuff to raise awareness for kids' cancer through the Great Cycle Challenge. It starts September 1st. So I put up a couple of those posts, and those are getting good traction. And then it hits me. I'm an independent business person. I just finished a web project that we launched on Monday morning, right? So 1 o'clock in the morning, Monday, we launched that. And it's going well. Some of the Mañana nomás people actually went and checked out that website, got back to me and said they really liked it. And I really feel good about that, right? The client really came prepared on this project. She knew what she wanted it to look like. She knew what she wanted the site to do. And there were some conversations along the way, but in the end, we came up with a really good product. And I feel like I was able to kind of meet the client's expectations and deliver. And the product's good, really good. So it's fun to see that. That's innertreasurehunt.com. If you haven't been there yet, you should check that out. It's a pretty cool site. And so I'm looking at, so what does this focus entail? So as an independent business person, I find myself making TikTok videos and email blasts and YouTube lives and making this kind of content and trying to connect with you, my audience, my circle, my community. And then I ask my community, hey, do me a favor, share this. Take this and share it with somebody. Take this and give it to someone you think it might impact. Find someone this might add value to. Now, I love adding value to the community, and I love communicating with the circle, right? But with kind of keeping in touch with folks. I really, really, really do enjoy it. So it's natural to do that. But then to think to myself, how has this become a focus? How has this become like what I'm doing this and you want to call it work, but is it work, right? And that's a big question to ask yourselves. At the end of the day, I've got to have a product. I got to have something that I am creating and pushing forward. So I keep looking at our membership and learning websites that we make through the Mañana No Mas channel. I'm looking at things like Power Sport Academy. I'm looking at things like the Pod Show Exchange. I'm looking at things like Challenge Connection. And these projects that Mañana No Mas has put out are super, super interesting. And some of them are really cool. But the focus to promote them may be the missing piece of the focus. You with me? So, when I started doing these dailies, when I started saying, hey, we're going to do a Mañana No Mas morning check-in, the intention was to be transparent and take you along on the journey and help you to understand how are decisions made. How am I tracking key performance indicators in growing this project? If I'm a small business consultant, I'm a medium-sized business consultant, I'm a business consultant. How about that? As a business consultant, I meet with other companies and I say, well, let's take a look at your measurables. Let's take a look at how many sales you're making. How much does each item cost? What's the average margin? How much does the labor cost? What's your overhead in that? What's your gross profit? What's your net profit? And then how can we improve your processes, your procedures to get efficiencies and profit out of the scenario? Well, I've got to do the same thing for myself. So I'm going to ask you guys again. If you're in this circle, if you're subscribed and you watch this, fantastic. Share it with somebody. Say, man, I listen to this guy and a lot of what he says makes sense. And, if he runs up against something, he tells us about it. It's pretty transparent. It's pretty cool. If you would do that, that would be awesome. If you're on the email list and you get the value-added email that goes out once a week, there's content in there that other people would find amazingly valuable. A lot of times I put in, a free ebook or something like that. I've got a ton of content. I'm a content WHORE, right? I have a ton of this stuff and I want to share it with you. Some people would say, well, Kurt, you already have an online academy. Why don't you just make courses out of this stuff? Well, I've already got 18 courses in the academy. So I've got this content. I've amassed this library of great stuff, a lot of stuff that I continue to write and my mind keeps going. So I keep developing stuff. And so for me, sharing it and adding value to people is kind of what drives me. But at the end of the day, I've got to grow something, right? So really, really working on that, really focusing this week on how am I connecting? What am I asking people in my community to do? How are they connecting or expanding the community through their own sharing, through their own interactions? And these are important things. So another thing I'm going to ask you guys to do this week is to get in touch. Hit the contact link at the mañananomas.com website. Hit a comment on, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, and let's see if you commenting comes to my attention, my notifications are working correctly, and I respond to you, and that dialogue is created. That's huge. Here's another thing. Everyone that makes a new connection to me in LinkedIn gets a request that says, hey, I make myself available for 15-minute discovery calls with all my new connections so I can get to know who I'm connected to. If you'd like to connect, let me know, right? And then we'll schedule that. We'll work the details out. You just got to let me know that you want to have a discovery call. They're not sales calls. They're discovery calls. I want to know who I'm connected to. So that way, if I'm having a meeting with someone 3 weeks or a month later and they go, man, I'm really looking for someone to do logo development. Oh, I just talked to a guy that does logo development. Let me hook you up with him, right? So if we have not yet gotten together and had a discovery call or, spent some time getting to know each other on the phone or on a Zoom call, I encourage you to do so. I encourage you. And you can schedule those right through the mañananomas.com website. I've got a link right in there. If you go to mañananomas.com, click on the Academy link, halfway down the page, you're going to see a form to join for the weekly value-added email. But right below that, you're going to see that you can schedule a discovery call with me. And that would be a really great way to get in touch with me and to start to put the pieces together to figure out how in the world are we going to add value to each other. I think that there is, and I've said this since the beginning, since pre-COVID, I've said this, things are changing. All this remote work, all this distance, all this angst that people are feeling, it's gonna have to channel itself in a way. And I really think that making connections with people, especially in a more and more autonomous, automated environment, is going to be key. So that's my message today. Let's connect. If you're seeing this and you're not on the email list or subscribe to the Mañana No Mas morning check-in on the YouTube channel, or taking a free course in the Mañana No Mas Academy, or part of the Power Sport Academy, if you are not connected yet in one of these ways, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Now, are there items that I sell through those sites? Absolutely, right? I've got paid courses. The Power Sport Academy is a completely paid environment, right? But I have a lot of free opportunities, and I don't harass you and sell you and spam you a bunch of stuff. But I believe that by continuing to add value, continuing to share, when you see something that's a paid item that's going to add value to you that you're really seeking, you're going to say, I'm going to do this because this guy knows what he's doing. And that's been one of the hardest things to come across and communicate without sounding like a jerk. When you work with me, when you work with Mañana No Mas, or you work with anyone that helps on my team, you're working with people that know what they're doing. I'm in my 50s now. And I keep thinking that, like, why in the world internally do you feel, oh, I'm just, I feel like I'm just a kid. No one's going to trust me. No one's going to, it's got to go. I know what I'm doing. I'm really, really good at what I do. So if you are a business, if you own a business and you're looking to increase your KPIs, you're looking to make changes based on data, and you don't want to lose your staff, here's the deal. A lot of folks that make changes based on data only screw the pooch. Their staff gets ticked off and they quit. You know what I'm talking about. There's ways, there's a certain order of things, and I've become a master at that order. So there are ways to instill change within an organization and to earn buy-in from the team and to attain those goals without running off the team. In fact, there are ways to instill culture change and chase after your KPIs, not only not losing your staff, but having your company or your organization become the magnet to bring in more qualified staff. I've done it over and over and over again. I know that the process works. I know that the results speak for themselves. And it's so interesting to watch it happen, to see it happen time and time again, to employ similar techniques. Every situation is different. So I say similar. People trying to sell you a cookie cutter solution for your business, I'd stay away from that. But you want to know that you want to have similar cadences, similar practices, not the same, but similar. And so when I institute, when I meet with somebody and I examine their situation and I institute coaching and training to get them on the right path, it is so rewarding to watch it happen, because it's not only the business or the organization at the top of the pyramid that's getting the bonus, right? As the business or the organization grows, everyone downstream, right? So owner, board, managers, workers, assistant managers, more workers, as that fans out, each of those people is getting the reward of that financial stability that comes from that growth. And that to me is so rewarding. So that's my focus this week. My focus this week is, how can I convince people that are already seeing this message to share the message, or to subscribe, like, and share it via email, or get a friend to pay attention? Because the information that I am sharing and the stuff that is coming forward, I'm looking 6 months down the road and picturing how this message is going to start to be delivered. And I'm really excited about it. I don't want to go into detail, because if it doesn't work, I'll look like a fool. But if it does work, I think it's going to be super engaging and super fun to do. I think it's going to add a lot of value to a lot of people if they get in here and become part of it. So folks, it's not trite. I say it all the time. I love you guys, and I want nothing but the best for you. And I want you to be part of the team. So have yourselves a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.